Welcome back to another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles review. Today I'll be reviewing Shredder and Kraang. So, at the back, we've got a picture of Kraang in his bodysuit. Of course, in the cartoon they have like a shield covering the whole suit, so that the figure doesn't have that. And here you see Kraang kind of running away. They kind of look dopey and stupid when they fall out of the bodies. I always find that kind of funny. Here we go for Kraang's bio. Creepy, controlling, and vicious, the Kraang are extra-dimensional, multi-tentacle, brain-like conquerors set on colonizing Earth. To do so, they've come armed with powerful Kraang droid exoskeletons that, in some models, appear human. But turtles beware, inside rests a sickly, gross, evil, too frightening to face. The Kraang always refer to each other as Kraang in it. It's quite funny, the dialogue. I'm guessing, when they say we gotta show this to Kraang or we gotta tell Kraang about this, I'm guessing there's gonna be a main Kraang. There is a massive problem with this figure. First of all, there is no articulation at the knees. The knees can't bend. So he's in a squatting position, like he's going to the bathroom. And second of all, this is flat and this is bent. So you know what that means? He can't stand straight. Look at that. Look how high his right foot is off the ground. He's just gonna fall. The whole reason behind this is because you're supposed to have him in this, pose him in this running motion. It's really difficult to get him to stand. I can't do it. There we go. Doesn't even look like he's running, does it? It looks freaking stupid. Yeah, that just totally ruins the figure. But the only saving grace to this is Kraang himself. You can take Kraang out of the stomach and it is absolutely disgusting. It's like squishy, just like I imagined him. And you have to pull him and he's... oh, that's disgusting. It's like giving birth out the stomach. Bleh. There you go. There is Kraang. Very squishy. And you can like use little tentacles wiggle. And at the bottom there's a hole here. So what you can do is, if we bring in Michelangelo, we can stick Kraang's head on top of Mikey. So Mikey, just like in the show, you got Mikey running around, screaming, Kraang's on his head, he's rolling, and eventually Kraang comes off. I think that's cool. I think this figure is probably one of the worst, but has at the same time a fantastic feature that I love. It's just too bad that this thing here, this exoskeleton, is just bleh, bleh. I'm gonna go in for a closer look at it. You can see it is nicely painted. The eyes are red. He's got some red coming down his head here. Even at the back, it looks really, really robotic. It's got some pink kind of wires going down. They put like really nice detail into the figure. And that pink runs down to the back of the leg as well. And there's some pink here and some red at the side. And there's like a bit of purple just here and there, just on stomach, and Kraang fits in here. It's a great looking figure. I mean, but it's just the legs are, it's killer. As for its articulation, its head can do 360 degrees. Its arm can move. Oh, his arm just came off. It's on a ball joint. It's okay. I'll plug back right in. It can kind of move in and out to an extent before it pops off. There is no more articulation. Wait, it goes 360 degrees, but there's no more articulation in the hands. The legs can move like this, and that is it. That's what I paid $12.99 for. With Mr. Articulation, you get two guns. You get this gun here. It looks like a badass pistol. And you get this. It looks like a gun that was cut in half, and they put a blade at the end. I guess it's like a mini chainsaw thing. So as you can see, the guns fit nicely into his hands. I can imagine this makes posing him even harder. Since doing these toy reviews, I'm going to give this the lowest score I've given any figure yet. This gets a 5 out of 10. It's an alright figure. I'd pick it up if you're the die-hard fan of the show or Turtles in general. And just for this Kraang little gimmick here, it's fantastic. Just the articulation ruins the figure, and that's a total killer for me. Like I said, I didn't really do it properly. I said 5 out of 10. 5 fingers out of 10. So this is Shredder. He is an absolute badass. That one fight he had with Turtles so far has been, whoa, he kicked their asses pretty good, and he is an absolute badass himself. I'm gonna keep saying badass when it comes to the Shredder. Look at that badass armor. Look at that badass face. It's all burnt or something. That badass eye, that might even work. Let's go on to his badass bio. Cold, cunning, and cruel, Shredder is a turtle's hateful arch enemy, willing to go to any length to destroy them and their rat sensei, Splinter. With the Foot Clan and his shredding armor, there is little the Shredder can't do. Turtles beware. I bet Shredder cannot be friends with Turtles. So that's one thing he can't do. To be honest, when I first laid eyes on the figure, I thought he was going to be too small. I also thought he wouldn't have much articulation. But he has plenty of articulation, and he's actually quite tall. When you compare him to the Turtles, he's the right size. Shredder, you can see his eyes. He's got no burn marks, no scarring. It's just white pupils, just like the Turtles, like they're in stealth mode. That's disappointing. I don't know why Playmates wouldn't add that paint app. It would have made the eyes look 10 times better. They would have popped out, made this villain more evil looking, but you know, they didn't. Shredder has 3 blades going up here on his helmet. He's got some blades on his shoulders, blades on his wrist here, or not wrist but forearm. He's got 3 of them. He's got 3 up here, and he's got 4 here, just above his ankle. Yeah, these blades are really cool looking. They don't call them Shredder for nothing. They're nice. They're nice looking, and yeah, he just looks badass with these blades. I wish they gave him more of a kind of metallic cutter instead of a grey plastic. Kind of like this cutter here where his chest area is. So, you know, the blades would have more of a shine. As for articulation, the head can move 360 degrees. It's a bit hard to do because of the helmet. His arms have the most articulation. They can move up, they can move down, they can kind of do the stabbing motion. Stab, 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 stab. Can move with the bicep. The bicep can actually do a 360 degrees. It can actually bend down this way. It looks like his arm is broken. I've never seen so much articulation in a freaking arm in my life. So, especially in this joint here, there's so much articulation to that. He's got wrist movement, 360 degrees. The arms can move up, back down this way. This hinders a full 360 degrees motion. He's got waist articulation. So the top half is heavily articulated, as it should be. He's a martial arts master. The April figure, like I mentioned, doesn't have much articulation because she's not a martial arts master. But the turtles, they have a lot of articulation because they're turtles. They're supposed to be able to fight and pose in all different ways. Now, while the top half is heavily articulated, the legs are not. Okay, they can move out like this and move back. That's great. But there's no knee movement. How can you bend and do kicks and knee to the groin and stuff? I'm sure Shredder wouldn't do that in a fight, but you know, knee articulation. It would have been nice to put that in there. Why not? Why give us this weird, this weird elbow joint that does all these crazy spins and poses when you could have been thinking about the knees? But no, he can do this, he can do the splits. I guess he can do some cool roundhouse kicks with his legs. You know, you can see if he had his knee, you could have him kind of like knee the turtles with the blades here. That would have been cool. It would have been a nice little play feature for kids. But yeah, I do like the articulation, top half, bottom half, not so much. I do like the paint job here. It's nice and shiny. Even on the helmet, it has a nice shiny look when there's light against it. At the back, there's a strap here that holds this armor, but it's just plain brown. Brown. With the shredder, you get a blade. I don't know if we've seen this in the show or not, but like all the other weapons, it's just one cutter. It's no great, well, it's nice detail, but there's no great cutter wraps or anything on it. It's just plain. You get two of these throwing stars. They're grey as well. For height comparison, here's Donatello against Shredder, and Donatello only comes up to Shredder's chest. I really thought from the package that Shredder was going to be smaller. I thought he was going to be a tiny bit taller than Donatello. That's where I thought he was going to fail as a figure. But no, Playmates have done a fantastic job with the correct height and whatnot. Overall, I give this Shredder an 8 out of 10. The lack of articulation in the legs and the lack of paint app in the eye that's meant to be burnt and scarred, you know, those two things really let me down. But you know, if you're a fan of the show, just a regular fan, not even a diehard fan, I'd still say pick up this Shredder. It's worth it. He's a really nice, cool looking figure, especially next to the turtles. He's a must-have. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next review.